Hello, welcome back to Psychology Works. I'm Dr. Scott Greenaway, and today we're going to be talking about a method, a technique, a strategy, whatever you want to call it, that might help you if you are experiencing a lot more anxiety than you think you need to, or possibly feeling depressed, and you're looking for some way that you maybe could work on yourself to help improve your mood. So one of the most important factors in psychology that we know today is the relationship between a person's thoughts and their feelings. If you ever wonder where does an emotion come from, the answer, a proper answer, could be thoughts. So over here you've got your thoughts, right? Your thoughts or your beliefs. It's kind of the same thing. Your philosophies on life, the rules that you operate, the way that you feel that the world works, the way you see things, your perspective. Now that can be in the moment thoughts such as, oh, look at that nice car, or I like broccoli, or I think I'm going to do something nice today. But it can also be deeper values, what you think a good person should be like, what you think is right or wrong, religious beliefs, political beliefs. Those all tie into the way you see the world and the way you think people should act and the way you think you should act and the way that you think that the things should go in the world. Then you've got emotions. Let's put a couple synonyms for that one. We've got mood. We've got feelings. So think about that. It's not the situation that's causing the emotion. Let's take depression, for example. Somebody, a common event that can lead to depression is breaking up with somebody that you care about. You're in a relationship with them and you break up and you have that loss. Or perhaps leaving a job, either getting fired or quitting or something. Some big change in life where you've now lost something that you valued. Two people can have that experience happen to them. One of them might be triggered into a depressive episode, and the other one may be somewhat upset, but not to the point of becoming clinically depressed. So if your thoughts affect your emotions, and if your thoughts about a situation cause you to be depressed, then if we can change the thoughts, change the beliefs, change the perspective, the way the person is looking at the situation, then that will also affect the emotion. And it doesn't happen just like that. It's something that you have to work at, especially when we start getting into deeper beliefs, deeper ideas and philosophies that you've lived by all your life without even questioning whether they're truisms about the universe or not. You know, we adopt these rules as if they're universal truths, but really they're just ideas that were presented to us by somebody else that we accepted either willingly, or when we're kids, we accept them not even knowing that we're taking on these belief systems. But in therapy, or if you're using this video and you start to examine your own philosophies and beliefs and ideas, you should start to challenge them a little bit, question them, take them with a grain of salt. Don't just buy into them immediately because you think that's the way it's been all this time. So what psychologists have found is when somebody is feeling more anxious than they need to. Now, if you're in an actual situation where there is some danger or something to worry about, then it's a normal emotion. But if the level of anxiety is much higher than what the danger actually is, or the amount of sadness that you're experiencing is way worse or lasting way longer than what the situation calls for, then you might want to try this and see if you can maybe change your emotions by changing your thoughts. So how do we do this? First of all, you have to know about something called cognitive distortions. A word we use more often these days is thinking mistakes. In studying humans and the way we think when we're emotional, it's been discovered that when we get emotional, we use much more extreme thinking. I'd like to just highlight a few right now so you can get started on trying to spot your own thinking errors, and if you can correct them, you should start seeing a change in your emotional experience. The first one you need to learn about, black and white thinking, also known as all or none thinking. If you talk to a depressed person and you ask them questions and they start talking about their views of themselves or their views of the future, you'll see a lot of all or none thinking. Another thinking mistake that you should be highly aware of and be looking out for is over-exaggerating. Something may be a little bit negative, but you see it as nearly the end of the world or much bigger than it really is. The third one, which is huge with depressed patients, is disqualifying the positive. A lot of times a depressed person will want to say, well, I'm just being realistic. This really is true. I really did lose my job. I really am out this income. I really do have these problems. And they leave it at that. And while it may be true that there are these negatives that the depressed person is accurately seeing, the error in their thinking is that they've zoomed in on just those, and if they pan back and they look at the whole picture, they may find that they are disqualifying some positives that could be happening that might give them a little bit more hope. They might not be thinking about the fact that they have a college degree and that they could probably get another job, or that they have a friend who could maybe get them a job, or that they have enough savings to live on. I could go on, but the video would be too long. But suffice it to say that a lot of times when you see someone who's depressed and they talk about the things that are upsetting them, they're leaving out part of the story that might make the story seem less devastating. I'd like to do a whole nother video just on thinking mistakes, and I can get into some of the other ones, especially ones we haven't even talked about, anger and some of the thinking mistakes related to that. So that would be a great video also. So the next time you're feeling depressed or you're feeling anxious, I want you to examine your thoughts, examine what you're telling yourself. What are you thinking about that's connected to that emotion? And then ask yourself, am I doing any black and white thinking or all or none thinking? Am I doing any over-exaggerating? And am I disqualifying the positive? And then come up with a different way to reframe it, look at it differently, a new perspective, and then rate how extreme the emotion is. And you may find that the anxiety drops somewhat and that the depression improves. I haven't done this in any of the other videos, but I'm going to give my website. And if you are interested in seeking psychological services for depression or anxiety or ADHD, I do time management counseling, and you live in Florida or Georgia, I'm licensed in both of those states, and you're willing and able to do Zoom sessions, virtual sessions, you can go to the website. It has the fee structure, the phone number you can call to schedule, and that website is drgreenaway.com. It's spelled out drgreenaway.com, and just go there and you can get all the information you need. This is Dr. Scott Greenaway saying, remember, psychology works, and I'll see you in the next video.